We did not have an executive session, so we're going to go right into our public meeting. Notice of this regular meeting of the Pitman Board of Education was posted at Borough Hall. A copy thereof delivered to all Pitman schools to be posted and posted on the district's website. Further notice was posted and filed as required by law, stating that the board would meet in closed session at 6:30 p.m. in the Pitman High School Media Center. The president shall entertain any objections with supporting reasons to the conduct of this meeting on the grounds that it violates the Open Public Meeting Act. Seeing none, good evening. Welcome to this evening's Board of Education meeting. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Please join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Estrada, will you please call roll?
Okay, Mrs. Bolton.
Here.
Mrs. Farrell. Here. Mr. Grossman.
Present.
Mrs. Higby-Iono.
Here.
Mrs. Miller.
Here.
Mrs. Pappalardo.
Here.
Mrs. Pope.
Here.
Quorum 7-0.
Thank you. All right, it's going to bring us to our first public comment. Pitman Public School Board recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters of community interest. This is the first of two public comments we will have tonight. The first public hearing is on agenda items only. This is a public comment, not a dialogue between the board and the public. We will have 3 minutes to speak, and it is your opportunity to comment or ask questions. In accordance with board policy number 0167, we ask that you state your name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation if applicable. To be recognized to speak, please come stand to my left near Mrs. Farrell and speak clearly so that the folks at home can hear you. Okay, seeing no one. Mr. Distress, do we have any correspondence?
No.
I will now move to accept a motion for the minutes of the Pitman Board of Education as held on the dates listed below are approved as printing and reading dispensed with. May I have a second?
Second, Pappalardo.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Any abstentions? Okay. If you could get your list real quick. I want to make sure we don't overlap.
Yep.
I'll see. Okay, I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna do this one, but I won't do it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, sometimes we have the same material, so I'll save it for Dr.
I can
Preston.
ad lib on the fly though.
Okay, so we had our countywide NJSBA meeting for Gloucester and Camden County 2 weeks ago. Mrs. Farrell was able to attend. Mrs. Higby-Iono was able to attend. She's now the Gloucester County VP of Legislative Relations. Dr. Preston was able to attend.
She
And
sucked
Mrs.
into that.
Pappalardo, you were able to attend virtually, right? Did I miss anybody else? Anybody else? We had a legislative panel with Assemblyman Cody Miller, who's from Legislative District 4, and we discussed some of the current items that are pending regarding education in the legislation and being discussed at the legislation, such as the cell phone bill and policies. Of course, we talked about school funding. What else did we talk about?
I don't remember.
I know, me either. Definitely school funding was the primary focus. I think every question was just somehow a way to indirectly bring up school funding, even if it wasn't the topic at hand.
If we had time, April, could you share the formula?
We talked about
Yeah, I'd love to. Would you like me to? I can whip out that presentation right now.
Cell phone
Oh,
policy.
cell phone policy.
Cell phone
Yeah.
policies.
Yeah. What else?
I think programs too. Didn't we talk about some programs? That's different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we talked, right. So we tried to create a process. So the county leadership has changed, and the intention is to create a different process that encourages increased participation with the various tables and collaboration amongst all the board members. So they were sharing out different things that are either challenges or highlights from their district or thoughts that they had on policies and whether it should still be something that needs local control or kind of all those various factors. So as we're continuing to move forward with kind of pushing that that format into those meetings, if you have any feedback, please share that. So if you hear anything, I know we have lots of teachers on the board in your various districts from your respective board members about what we can do to modify it or make it more interactive so we can increase attendance. Next week we'll be at the NJSBA workshop. I just want to remind everyone that there is a shared Google Drive that Mrs. Adio made in 2023. It's in your general BOE folder, and it's in training. There's 2 different subfolders. One of them is training. I would encourage all of the board members, if you attend a presentation at workshop, or you have notes that you would like to share out or that you'd like any of us to read so that we could also hear a presentation that you thought was really impactful, please upload them into there. There is an opportunity if you download the workshop app, and for whatever reason, I feel like I have to create a new login every year for that, and I don't know why. But when you download that app and you create your agenda, it will actually share those notes back to you. So it should be really easy to kind of just download them to your phone and drop them right into the shared drive. You can attach, like I said, any notes. And then I would tell you to just email out a little blurb and let folks know that it's in there so that they can find it. And then if you want to refer, it's like, you go to something that's talking about facility upgrades and what that process looks like, and you think it would be pertinent for the facility committee, direct it to those members in particular, or the chairperson, so they can perhaps put it on the agenda. Sometimes there's really exciting stuff that we hear about it, and sometimes you go to a session and it's a sales pitch, so whatever you have. I do just want to mention the pep rally. I know that Dr. Preston's going to cover this as well, that we have coming up on the 24th. We do encourage all members of the public to come and to reach out if they have any questions. There should be information being pushed out to all the various organizations, as well as some graphics for them to share out. But we're hoping that, it'll be well attended and we'll have lots of folks from the community there. And then I did want to discuss as a board ethics training. We had talked about doing ethics training, and we had kind of tentatively talked about some dates. One of the options that we had discussed was the January reorg meeting, since we're already here and it's a scheduled board meeting. So things are already covered. It would be similar to how we've done it in the past, where we would cover a presentation. Are we comfortable doing that in-house ourselves? Is that something that we want to reach out to our new field service rep, Lori, and see if she would like to come? What's the board's thoughts on that?
If we can do it ourselves.
We've done it.
We've always done it ourselves.
Yeah, we had our former field service rep come out 1 or 2 years, but yeah, we've since transitioned to doing it ourselves. So I feel like sometimes it allows us to deep dive on the ethics things that are most pertinent to our district. But what are your thoughts? Does anybody have any preferences? Would you like me to invite Lori? Would you like to do it ourselves? Nothing? You all are really good at avoiding eye contact now. Like, she'll assign me a job if I make eye contact. All right, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think ourselves is
Okay.
appropriate.
All right, sounds good. All right, I'll turn it over to Dr. Presto.
Yeah, great.
It's the night of reorg, beginning of January, first week.
Is it the
First Wednesday, 7th?
6th?
That sounds right.
So
First Wednesday's your,
What?
first Wednesday.
Yeah.
First
There's been
Wednesday,
continuity in
and
the
then
board, so I
Third
think
Wednesday
that's
is
a
a
good,
regular
that's a
one.
good move.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you, Ms. Miller. It's always great to start a superintendent report to report no HIBs throughout the district, no investigations, and no confirmed HIBs. So that's always a positive way to start the year. But as the teachers on the board know, the honeymoon phase is slowly fading away. And so obviously we'll revisit that in November. I do want to briefly touch and kind of update the board on our October 10th staff in service. Really give props and kudos to Mr. Caltabiano. I don't know if you want to talk about that briefly, about the various inner workings of that and what was going on, but it was some really good stuff.
Yeah, so we had some what I call priority trainings, meaning things that, for example, in the high school, we had teachers learning a new math program, Envisions, which was adopted this year. So that was a priority training, meaning that those teachers had to be in that training, which was specific to them. K-3, we had a new universal screener. They're taking the MAP assessment. So that was a priority for them to take that training and have that for their MAP testing that's coming up, or that just passed, but they read the reports, and they'll give it again in the spring. And then we have what I call a select or an option for the remainder of the teachers. What I do is poll the teachers. I actually polled them last year in the spring. I gave them a bunch of topics. I asked them to pick the topics they were most interested in. And then from there, I select different topics to give them an option to take. So that way it's not something that they don't feel that applies to them. It's something they feel they need or could use. And they select that option and go to that training. So that was the majority of what took place. Pre-K had their own different thing for the recommendations, requirements in the pre-K program. CST did something a little different, counselors. On the shortened day, we end up with about just under 2 hours of training with the teachers, so there's not a whole lot you could do, but we do try and maximize the time and get a lot done in that time frame.
I kind of want to stress too that our strategic plan, internal strategic plan light really is with PD is our primary areas of focus, which is character, and engagement too. And that thread kind of runs through all the in-services throughout the year.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, good.
And in February's full day in service, it would be completely focused on the engagement
That's great.
portion of that, so.
Yeah, great. Awesome, thank you. To the point about character, we had our first district-wide character council meeting October 8th, a week ago today.
That's right.
We kicked off with Citrus at the beginning of the year, which is a partner firm that really kind of helps us build internal systems of character. This particular firm that we work with are actually a local outfit based in Pitman, and they've worked with schools globally, really, but they're kind of working with us out of the kindness of their hearts, and we're really excited about that. But they came in, they assist us, they kind of give us a framework. We talked about some initial structure work, pushing that out at the schools. You can see as you walk the building, even here, you can see different virtues that come up. We're identifying our core values at this point. That's what the survey that went out about 2 weeks ago. It just closed. We're kind of going through that data now, just so the board's aware too. One of the processes of schools that achieve, and not that the goal is to achieve National Schools of Character status. The goal is to achieve a school district of high character, and where you see that in the students. The goal is, so that's the clear goal, but one of the processes to do that is to really bring the board support in, that it's part of the fabric of the community, which I believe it already is in Pitman, actually, but it's really part of the board. The board has continuity in that, can be cooperative in those things, and so as we move on with the Character Council, I'll probably actually invite Mr. Miller and Mr. Peterson in to present to you on how we're kind of undertaking this work. We'll eventually bring probably Emily and Abby on as well. We talked about that last October. Really to kind of, what do we do here? What do character lessons look like? What does our mission, do we need to revisit our mission statement or maybe make it a jingle that we can remember? Because I think the mission statement's actually already pretty good. And so this is all the kind of work that's taking place, and I just wanted you to know that, because we told the Character Council, and often you get new administrations come into school districts, and it's just another thing on the plate, a new initiative, a new program, somebody wants to make a splash and make a mark. One of the slides we had up there was a plate, and the character really is the plate. You can't move forward with achievement, you can't move forward with all those the measures we talk about, academic progress, unless you have a baseline, a really strong character program, and really a really strong district of character. So we're excited about that work, and it will continue. So the district meets as a character council, and then separately the schools have what's called character champions teams, which are a little larger, and they meet and talk about doing all kinds of stuff as well. It's a long process. Schools that achieve National Schools of Character usually takes 3-4 years to do that, and so we're just starting right now. This is the inception. Thank you for your support on that, by the way,
Yeah,
too.
that's great.
I should have led with this, but the girls' tennis team won the South Jersey championship for the second year in a row.
Yeah.
Congratulations, and to the whole team as well. That was awesome to see. I saw a lot of board members out there. It was super exciting, and it's kind of a gritty win too. So
I made
tomorrow.
sure I asked you if you were coming.
Yeah. Tomorrow, though, we can't watch that, right? That's 9 o'clock.
It's at Mercer County Park. It's
Mercer County
like
Park.
an hour
Mercer
away.
County Park, that's what it is, yeah. Well, good luck to the tennis team as well. So, yeah, congratulations on that repeat, though. It was excellent. Just as a note, I'll put this all in my monthly memo as well. We've moved our offices at Walls from the upstairs to the downstairs. This is now making way for that building to be rented out. Mr. Caltabiano and Mr. DeStratus actually made some tours on Friday of potential tenants, and there's some interest already. It is public. It's listed by Heddenberg Real Estate Company, but we're also entertaining some kind of intra-district, school district interest as well. So we're excited about that. Governor's Educator of the Year, you might have seen that on social media. I'll put it in my letter as well. We always have a difficult time. It's a weird time of year to nominate Teacher of the Year. It's really from last year. What teacher made an impact? Usually, students have a new teacher this year, so they're not thinking about last year. You're only as good as tomorrow, right? But we really want to encourage you to fill that out. So I'll put that in my letter, remind you about that. So just encourage you to really kind of highlight, if you had a great experience with the teacher, it's we have teachers in our midst. It's such a noble profession, and we really like that program. CUSAC results, I don't want to steal Ms. Bolton's thunder, but we did receive those results. There were 2 areas, and I'll let her speak to that we did not pass. One was instruction and program, and the other was governance. We missed very narrowly by 1 point and 4 points. I'll just put out there that we did fill out, and I did just get confirmation right before this board meeting, we did fill out, it's not called a rebuttal, it's called a appeal. We appealed those scores on certain pieces of evidence that we thought that the county review or the state review might have missed. They did acknowledge receipt of that, and they asked for more time for them to review on their end. So I don't think we really should motion to accept those results yet.
Okay.
That would probably be November.
That's 23,
So that's not on there, right?
The 23, 24 look back too.
It's the 23-24 look
Right.
back, correct. But we don't have that on this agenda to approve anyway, correct?
No.
Okay, good. I know we had it and we took it off. Okay, thank you. Pep Rally, October 24th. That's super exciting. Next Friday. Certainly want to thank the Pitman Alumni Association for putting together the time capsule. I know people are still looking for the other capsule at the Manor. I heard from a couple people this week that think they know its whereabouts.
We should make it like a monthly update.
We have 8 days, so 9 days. So if you find it, let me know.
We'll find it after we bury
yeah.
this next one.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get that all out there. And then lastly, I did just want to kind of put just in the public ether, we'll have our open house, and just so the board knows, at the junior senior high on November 13th. That is on the calendar. And so I told Ms. Stewart, I said, in the past, the board has been super excited to help out on that. And so I said, maybe if we can have an opportunity to set up a table or something like that, if you're interested, it'd be great.
Anything we can do?
Panther
And that-
tattoos,
Exactly.
Pardon?
Panther tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're getting real experts on
Swag.
Yeah.
Kinds of stuff, yeah.
I'm doing.
That's Mabel's
Um,
job,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Jill does the tattoos.
Yeah, we have some volunteer assistants that are
And
children that always get assigned
And
jobs.
again, on that particular topic, I don't want to steal Emily and Abby's thunder. They got some good stuff working on for that open house as well, homecoming/open house stuff too. So I'll let you speak to that. But that concludes my report.
Thank you. All right, I'll turn it over to you, Lee.
Okay, I'll start with the elementary school. The HSA kicked off the school store fundraiser and wrapped up the fall book fair. The 4th graders had a visit from Rowan's Engineers on Wheels, and they focused on engaging in STEM experiences and activities. Week of Respect was celebrated earlier this month, where each day was a new activity or theme. Currently, the students have been able to enjoy and earn prizes through the Character Champions program. After-school activities have been kicked off, and the students have opportunities to join art club, yearbook club, game club, and Miss Chance is working on a cursive club. Students who are in the Masker drama
Cursive.
program attended
Cursive, you said?
cursive, yeah,
That's right.
cursive club.
I love cursive. So
Yeah.
every chance I have, I'm like, let's learn some cursive.
Yeah. The Maskers program, they attended their first interest meeting, and they revealed that their play will be Peter Pan Jr. The Women's Club is hosting their annual spelling bee competition, and at the end of the month, the Halloween parade will be hosted on Davis Field. For Memorial School, the students learned about their new classrooms new classmates. Parents and guardians visited for back-to-school night and learned all about a typical school day. They also collected caterpillars and milkweed, which kicked off their study of butterflies. One classroom released 8 butterflies. They also focused on wisdom and integrity as character strengths. They kicked off their Week of Respect, and they will also be celebrating Halloween for their school parade.
Okay. For the high school, I know Emily talked about the Week of Respect. We also did that in our school. I had to read quotes each day regarding different like
Virtues.
Character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are new based on the character stuff.
Yeah,
You
it
can start
was-
seeing that stuff filter in.
it was the 6th to the 10th, and then all the clubs started and now they're just all going. We have FCA, SAD Club, Environmental Club, Mock Trial, Grand Paws, which is an a cappella group, Drama Club, FBLA, and a bunch of other clubs. NHS started meeting on Thursday mornings, and I believe that the new applicants are filling out their forms right now. I'm not sure if they had to have
I
them
think they
turned in
got their
already.
resume or
Yeah.
whatever.
And the
I think they did get turned in.
Yeah.
I hope they got turned in.
well, I didn't know when the date was for that.
They better
I
have,
know,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
people
yeah,
had them.
yeah. And then for the new and returning members, the induction night is going to be December 4th.
Okay.
Yeah. The Panther Performing Arts Club started rehearsing on October 2nd for the fall show, which they're looking at to be November 20th and the 21st at 7 p.m. each day. Spirit Week starts on Friday, which we'll be doing Pajama Day, and it's also homecoming. And then we also start the food drive, which we are hoping to get 1,200 cans this year because we exceeded the amount last year by over 1,000. So, and then Monday we have monochromatic, so all one color, and then hallway decorating, which is 3 to 5 and 7 to 9, and junior high will also be doing that, but they only have one shift, 3 to 5. And then
Lots going on.
yeah, there's a lot going on. The 21st is the Powder Puff game at 6 p.m. I better see you all there. And that's also Jersey versus Jersey Shore. Wednesday, the 22nd, is Dynamic Duo Day, and that's the only day that we don't have anything going on because there's a lot of sports and stuff. And then the 23rd, we have Quizzo at 7 p.m. I know Dr. Preston can't make it. And
It's cheating anyway.
It's cheating anyway. And that's also Country vs. Country Club. And then Friday, October 24th, is the pep rally for both in school and the
After school.
yeah, the community. Yeah. And then we'll be wearing black and orange and doing a lot of fun stuff. And then obviously the homecoming game that day.
And senior night. It's senior night for the football and cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, a lot going on that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously Pitman girls tennis. We're going to States tomorrow. And then lastly, the Pitman Music is hosting the 5th annual Trunk or Treat event on Thursday, October 30th from 4 to 6 in the faculty parking lot. Yeah.
That's great. What Spirit Day are you most excited for?
I think Jersey versus Jersey Shore because I can wear my Powder Puff jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got like
Actual jerseys?
Yeah, they're like practice jerseys, but like
Yeah.
they say like they're like pink and they say like class of 26 on them, and then they have like the last name.
Where
of
did
that.
you guys get it?
The Quarter Press.
Oh, wow, he did it up this year,
Yeah,
huh?
that's fancy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any of you know about the Pitman Pitch, but we're rebooting that on
Yes.
Friday.
I've heard.
And our Spirit Week video will be going in it, which is basically like telling people like dress up or you're not very fun. So
So you don't have a
That's
Spirit
great.
Day that you're most looking forward
probably just Friday because homecoming.
to? Yeah, that's fair.
Oh yeah, that's comfy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Did you guys catch the video? Was the video out? I don't want to spoil anything, but for the point of view from the Chief Happiness Officer?
I didn't see it.
Oh no, I saw it. It's not from the. I saw like parts of it, but I'm pretty sure it's just them videoing like the people like petting the dog. Like it's not like a GoPro on her.
Oh, it was though. The one thing I saw, I guess they edited it.
Yeah, they.
Okay.
It might not have like worked because she moves around too much.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
I do want to go on record again, indicating that I think the Chief Happiness Officer, I know Mrs. Pote is in full agreement, like, she should be the staff spotlight.
That's right.
Yes, yes.
And here for the whole meeting, and I just want to, I know that's not her call, reiterate
Over
that
there.
one more time. No problem, Mrs. Pote, I'll sit over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can sit right here.
Yeah, it'll be great. I think I skipped around and prematurely cut off your,
No, I
Superintendent's
skipped
speech,
around.
so I'll
Yeah,
turn
so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Caltabiano to present our NJSLA state assessment data. This is statutory, but it is good also to bring this to the board's attention.
It's everyone's favorite presentation. It's so much fun. And the board loves to challenge me, which I always take like a good challenge. And they like to have me work in different words throughout. You're right. typically I shouldn't say it, but seared sea bass, there's just no way to work that into the presentation. So let me just work it in right there.
It's a half point. It's a half point.
No.
Half point.
All right. On to the data.
And it was sauteed sea bass.
So I emailed this to the board, so the board does have this in their email, so that way they can get a better look at it. The numbers end up being a little small in the presentation. The NJSLA is taken in the spring. It's taken in language arts and math, and it's taken in grades 3 through 9. This is our language arts data, which it can be very overwhelming and a lot to look at. But I'll just point out and explain a few things. We're scored on 5 levels, so levels 1 through 5, where 1 is not yet meeting expectations, all the way up to 5 exceeding expectations. And I'll just walk back to level 4, which is meeting expectations. So 4 and 5 is considered grade level, and then 1 through 3 is considered just below grade level. Here we have a comparison of the 24 and 25, so this past May is when these scores were taken, or the assessment was taken and scores were generated, and then compared to the previous year. We do that for level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. But I'd like to just draw your attention to the end where there's actually a comparison of the level 4 and up, which would be theoretically on grade level. So we compare the 2024 scores to the 2025 scores. I say this every year, and I only said it to you guys last year, but you can glean a lot from data. You can draw a lot of accusations. You could say a lot of different things. So I have those conversations with teachers. Matter of fact, we met today, grades 3 to 6, and we had a big conversation about different things and looked at all different kinds of data, not just grade level data, but individual teacher data. We looked at student data. We looked at standards data. So we try to continue to have those conversations to just continue to educate teachers so they can improve their practice. This would be the same look, but for math. In math, we're assessed grades 3 to 8. 8th graders who are in Algebra 1 also will take the Algebra 1 assessment, not the 8th grade assessment. And then 9th graders will either take Algebra 1 or geometry. And then Algebra 2 is taken in certain rare situations, but it can be taken in 10th grade for a kid that comes out of state and registers in New Jersey for the first time. They might take Algebra 2. This is what I think the best look at some of this broad data. And what this is, I have from 2022 to 2025, all right? And it's a comparison to the state. So it's levels 4 and 5, theoretically on grade level, compared to the state's on grade level. So if we take a look at grade 3 from 2022, we can see here's Pitman's proficiency rate. That means 68.2% of students in grade 3 in 2022 scored a 4 or 5. So they're theoretically on grade level. Where the state average was 42.4, showing an increase of, or an amount over the state by 25.8, and I have that highlighted in green. All right, so whenever it's above the state average, it's in green, and then red is below the state average. So that immediately starts to give you a quick look at the years longitudinally, as we can see how we performed. Couple things I want to point out. I don't like to compare data vertically on this chart, so I won't compare necessarily how 3rd grade performed against 4th grade, performed against 5th grade, because it's a different group of students. And in 100 students, you could have very different ability levels, right? From year to year, and our teachers in the room know, you can have students really high one year, and the next year they could be not as high. Particularly in a small group, which Pitman averages about 100, probably 80 to 100 students a class. If we had 5,000 kids, then maybe we'd be having a different conversation. But for 100, it could vary very different, significantly. What I like to do instead is watch the cohort travel across the years. So how do we compare to the state for this cohort to that same cohort in 4th grade? And I look at 25.8 and then 17.5 the next year. And then the following year in 5th grade, how do we compare against the state? And then the following year in 6th grade, how do we compare against the state? So now I can kind of get a sense of how that particular cohort is doing in comparison to the state and some trends that I might see. Now, those teachers have to stay consistent year over year, meaning we can't be shuffling teachers 5th down to 6th, over to 4th, down to kindergarten, or else that breaks the data up a little bit. And that is true of this data, That's not the same teachers every year because of shifts in the grade levels. I would have drew that out for each grade, but you could do that from 4th to 5th to 6th to 7th, and so on and so forth where that pattern continues. So that's the scores for ELA compared to the state. And I'll just give you a minute to check out math. You can see some real bright spots. Certainly you can see some spots that are in need. And we address those in different ways: meetings, conversations, improvements in curriculum, improvement in practice, observations, evaluations at the end of the year. And then there's always a meeting between the principal and any MSGP teacher, which is grades 4 to 8. That happens sometime in November. Here's our science scores. So again, it's just like we had for math and language arts, levels 1 through 4. So there is no 1 through 5 in science. They cut out 5 and it's just 1 through 4. Don't ask me why, but 3 and 4 are still considered on grade level. Science scores have historically been low for the state average. You can see that they are, oh, this is not the state. This is not the state. So let me go to state average. So same exact graph for science. Here's the state averages. So you can see how low they are. And that's been since they started giving the science assessment. People in my position all across the state complain about it. Dr. Preston shaking his head because he remembered being in my shoes. You know, we cry to the people at the state level, and we try and get them to see that it doesn't make sense if you only have a state average of 12.9%. Something's wrong, right? So, but we can see how Pitman did against that. And we can see that. One thing I want to show you can't compare the cohorts this way because it's an assessment that's given to 5th, 8th, and 11th. So if I want to compare the same cohort, I have to jump 3 years. So this is the same cohort in 5th grade as this cohort in 8th grade, same group of students. I've covered most of this already. One thing I do want to mention is the state has decided to move away from the current NJSLA, and now they're adopting the NJSLA-A, which stands for adaptive. So it's New Jersey Student Learning Assessment Adaptive. And an adaptive assessment, when a kid takes the assessment and gets a problem wrong, the assessment actually gets easier. If they get it right, it gets a little bit harder. Right? And over time, as kids answer more and more questions, it starts to really hone in and find that level. So that's why an adaptive assessment, the state feels is more appropriate. Also, they feel like a kid's not going to check out on the assessment because it's too hard, right? If they answer the first one wrong, it immediately gives them something more capable. They get that one wrong, it goes down again, and it increases the likelihood the student doesn't just check out and go, well, I'm not answering that. So that's a couple of reasons why the state's going that direction.
Correct me if I'm wrong too, Mr. Caltabiano. That's been something that was from key stakeholder sessions and feedback. It's been probably 8-9 years that people have been saying we need an adaptive test like MAP or like iReady, all those tests. Yeah. Okay.
STAR.
Yeah.
Are the 3 big ones.
Right.
So we'll see. I mean, we don't have a ton of information about it yet. They're still kind of rolling things out in the way the state does, a little bit at a time. But there's a field test coming up. Everyone pretty much grades 3 to 11 will take that field test. We're eyeing up sometime in November to get that.
13th and 14th?
Yeah, 13th and 14th.
That's right. Yeah.
And everyone in the district, or everyone in the state has to take the field test. So it's a requirement that we take it. And then the actual NJSLA-A will be given in same time frame, April, May. Any questions? All right, that concludes my presentation.
I do have one quick question. So when we talk about the science scores, and not specific to our district, but is it that the standards are not laid out in a way from the state BOE perspective that aligns to the test, do you think? Is it that, that's one of the pieces of feedback I've heard, is that an accurate statement?
Well, it's got to do partly with that and partly with the assessment items that are given are much different than what are given throughout the state of New Jersey typically. Right?
Okay.
Teachers are just now starting to shift to the type of science assessment questions that they want us to give. The only thing is we only have a small sample of those, and we embed those throughout our benchmark assessments, our tests and year tests. We use them wherever we can, but there's only a handful of them.
They don't release items like math
They
and
do,
E,
yes.
but not to the same degree as
Not
math
the-
and
Not the
ELA.
same
yeah.
amount.
Right.
The other reason why I think it's probably likely that they're performing poorly is because it's a banded subject. So in math, you only teach grade 7 standards, you're assessed on grade 7 standards. In science, you teach grades 6 to 8 standards, and then you give an 8th grade assessment. Well, a lot of the students, the learning that they did in 6th and 7th grade, they don't recall that, right? And the teacher has to attempt to try and give that, review that material with them, but they have to cover a whole year's worth of material in 8th grade,
Right.
let alone cover 7th and 6th grade again.
Right, it's,
So,
okay.
It's
It's like a multi-year lens
Yeah.
to the
Yes.
information.
Yeah, it's a banded subject
Okay.
area. That's why they give it in 5th, which is 3 to 5 standards,
Right.
8th, 6 to 8, and then 11th covers 9 to 11.
Okay. I think that there's always an opportunity at workshop, the state BOE does a panel,
Yeah, they do.
and they allow some level of interaction to kind
Yeah,
of share that type of
we were supposed to,
feedback.
at our county level, they were supposed to come out, the science coordinator, and we were supposed to get to have an opportunity to have a conversation with him. That didn't happen, because I had a lot of questions around released items and putting more of those out, giving us more sense of what was gonna be on the thing.
Okay.
So we can more accurately teach to that.
Okay. It just, yeah, I think it's Wednesday afternoon. I usually go to that session.
Oh, you're saying that exists for this upcoming Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It'll be Wednesday afternoon, and it's a panel of BOE members, and those are kind of some of the items that they seem to entertain the feedback on
Yeah,
at
yeah.
greater length compared to, you're making.
I mean, should I warn the panelists that you're coming?
Oh, yes. Always- people like feedback. All right, so that's what I just wanted to clarify, so I understood the nuances
That's
of
good.
it.
Yep.
Okay.
I know no one more enthusiastic on released items than Mr. Caldabiano.
Love it.
It's true. Which is, I mean, I do think long-term, the adaptive assessment will be good, but in the short term, there's been a plethora of information released, meaning actual, when I say a released item, I'm saying a question that was on the test at one point, right? So now we can take that question and we can embed it into our assessments and then use, we can work backwards through backwards design to make sure our curriculum aligns right head-on with that. We're still waiting to see if those items are still relevant, meaning, will they still matter, But I think they will. I think that the state's aware of that, but we won't know until more information is released.
Yep. Thank you.
That's great.
Well
Thank
done,
you.
Mr. Caldabiano.
All right, let's take us to finance and facilities, and I will turn it over to our chairman, Mr. Grossman.
Give me a second to reboot now. Can't make a transition that quick.
No.
Thank you. Good evening, all. The Finance and Facilities Committee met on Wednesday, 10/8 at 3:30 p.m. via Zoom and lasted approximately 50 minutes. In attendance along with myself were Superintendent Dr. Robert Preston, Board Secretary and Business Administrator Christopher DeStratis, Board President April Miller, and my distinguished colleague Rebecca Higby-Iona.
I'm not esteemed anymore.
You're distinguished this month. Topics of discussion included our district enrollment numbers to GCIT. Presently, we stand at 57 students, which is down from 10 a year prior. We're looking to sell and/or donate 3 pianos out of the district. They will be listed on GovDeals and/or donated to a district group for repurposing. April Miller has some idea of Christmas ornaments out of a piano.
If we can make a box.
Stop it.
We can make a box. Yeah, they're really cute. My home district. Yeah, and then the music boosters can sell them. Make money.
Wow.
If there's a way to turn a buck and put it back in. I know guys got a couple
Sounds like a
pianos
job
out
for
too.
the student reps.
I know.
It does.
There you go, guys.
That's great.
Christmas ornaments out of piano keys.
Whatever it takes.
We discussed our CUSAC results. More from my esteemed colleague Sarah Bolton on that later. Well, I guess we're not going to submit a district improvement plan. We're going to wait until the
Yeah,
results of
good
the
point,
appeal.
yeah,
Yes,
good point.
okay. On Friday, 10/10, Washington Township School District did a walkthrough on Wall School for possible rental of same. We are also considering, exploring the option of using a portion of the building for an alternate needs program called SESI, Specialized Education Services, Inc. It is an option we are looking into. And lastly, our track revision plans were discussed and approved, all the while keeping us under the referendum budgeted allotment of $283,000. It looks like it's going to come in at around $255,000. Many thanks to our project management team for keeping an assertive eye on expenditures and contractor fees for keeping this project on track and under budget and providing our students with what is sure to be a fabulous track and field event venue that is sure to be first class and a source of pride for our district and town. With this, I will move items 1 through 8 for approval. Any discussion?
May I have a second?
Second, Higby.
Okay, any discussion? Sorry, I'm just making a note.
Just want
That's
to
all
thank Ms. Hess, Mr. Letizia, Ms. Giacchini, that we had them at the table, some input on the track too. So I wanted to thank, short order for Ms. Hess, she just started. I know we put a lot of pressure on her to make sure everything was good for our events, and she did a nice job on that, so.
That's great.
Put that in there.
And the final color was red, right?
Yeah,
It's not red, it's,
it's track red.
Track red.
Yeah.
I feel like when people say red, I'm like, it's not. I think
Yeah, it's-
it shouldn't be red.
You think a bright red?
Like an Adobe red.
It's like
Yeah.
red. With the not a red.
See, I can mix in some words too.
Yeah, yeah.
Not sauteed sea bass red, but
Something's gone really. All right, seeing no further discussion, Mr. Estratus, please call the vote.
Mrs. Bolton?
Yes.
Mrs. Farrell? Mr. Grossman?
I must abstain from item number 7 on the agenda, but yes to the rest.
Okay. Mrs. Higby Iono?
Yes.
Mrs. Papalardo?
Yes.
Mrs. Pope?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. That's going to bring us to curriculum instruction. I'll turn it over to our committee chairwoman, Mrs. Bolton.
All right, the Curriculum and Instruction Committee met virtually on October 8th, 2025 at 4:30, and the meeting lasted about an hour. In attendance were Dr. Preston, Mr. Caltabiano, Mrs. Miller, Mrs. Pope, and myself. Items discussed from the agenda were number 9, Eric Milo, I want to always say his name wrong, will be coming into our district to lead the teachers in our new mathematics curriculum. It'll be a great opportunity to observe him. He's going to come in and actually teach a lesson first. So that'll be nice that the teachers will get to watch him actually teach it first and then kind of transition into let the teachers do a lesson, and then he can observe them and give them some feedback on that. Number 14 is the approval of our replacement science teacher for 6th grade. Mrs. DeBella has an impressive resume, and we are very excited to welcome her to Pitman. We also continued the discussion of our business academy and the schedules that students can take to earn their associates by the time they graduate from Pitman High School. So I guess this will start next year, Ryan. We're hoping to get this in place, right?
Current freshmen.
Are already started on
They
it.
have that opportunity, they will
Okay.
have that opportunity, yeah.
Okay. So current freshmen are already started. It will require a little bit of summer work, but in the end, you know, still getting their associates out of Pitman High School. I'm impressed.
If they choose that route.
Yes, yes, it's an option.
It's an option.
It's an option for them. We got a lot of options for kids around here. We also received our CUSAC scores, as we talked about a few little hints earlier, from the state. So it's quality single accountability continuum. And we narrowly missed in 2 of the 5 indicators, which were instruction and program and governance. And I think, like we said earlier, we've already sent an appeal to the CUSAC asking for further clarification.
Yeah, thanks for catching that, by the way.
The date, yeah.
The date, yeah.
Yeah. Because we wanted to make sure we got there's a certain time period that you can appeal. So we had a certain amount of dates and we had to get that in right away. So
Right.
Dr. Preston made sure that, you know, after we brought that to his attention to get that in. This way we can just get some clarification on why certain numbers, where they were. Our next step will be to approve a district improvement plan should we need to. And that will outline how we plan to improve the specific indicators where we actually lost some points. So,
Yeah.
should be good. All right, so with that, I think that was it. I will make a motion to approve items 1 through 22 as written.
May I have a second?
Second, Pope.
Can I go over to Dr. Preston, or would you like to go at the?
I can do it now, yeah.
Okay.
So, speaking of Ms. DeBella, she's here with us. Thank you for coming. Ms. DeBella, I just asked her to write a little bio. She left out some of the really good things, so it speaks to your humility. But I'll read what you wrote, and then I just want to speak to your experience with REU. Hannah DeBella is the long-term substitute for 6th grade science at Pitman Elementary School. She earned her BS in molecular and cellular biology from Rowan, and is currently pursuing the alternate route to teacher certification. Most recently, sorry, I left it out. With a strong background in science and research, Hannah is passionate about inspiring curiosity and helping students explore the excitement of science. And as I mentioned, she is currently working, or was currently working at Tufts REU program. That kind of stuck out to me in the resume. My wife was actually an REU student, which only a handful of applicants, candidates get selected for out of thousands of applications. So super glad to see some people in the STEM fields wanting to come into education, and starting to see more of that. And so and that was kind of what she related in our interview process, that she really wants to come and work with kids and develop a love of science. And somebody from the lab setting to the classroom is super exciting. So welcome, Hannah.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Distress, can you please call the roll?
All right.
Oh, did we get a second?
We did before we had the discussion.
Got that.
Mrs. Bolton.
Yes.
Mrs. Farrow. Mr. Grossman.
I will abstain from item 15, and yes to the rest.
Okay. Mrs. Higby Iono.
I need to abstain from 21, but yes to the all other.
All right. Mrs. Papalardo.
Yes.
Mrs. Pope.
Yes.
Mrs. Miller.
I abstain from number 2, yes to the rest.
And motion carries.
Thank you. All right, communication and policy, and this evening we're going to turn it over to our committee member, Mrs. Papalardo.
All right. The Communication and Policy Committee met on October 7th, 2025 at 4:30 p.m. via Zoom. In attendance were myself, Melissa Farrell, Dr. Preston, Mr. Caltabiano, and Mrs. Higby Iono. Our action items for the month are the second reading of the policy updates issued by Strauss Esme last month, and the first reading of our revised policy clarifying the function of booster clubs that we've discussed in some of our previous meetings. The committee also discussed the New Jersey Freedom to Read Act that requires school districts and governing bodies of public libraries to develop policies and procedures for reviewing requests that certain books or other materials be removed from a library. We're still waiting for guidance and a proposed policy from Strauss Esme. As a point of information, the Act bars boards of education and public libraries from excluding library materials because of views expressed in the material or by its author, or from banning materials based on the board's disagreement with a viewpoint, idea, or concept. Likewise, material cannot be banned solely because an individual objector finds certain content offensive. But boards do retain the right to limit access of materials for certain groups based on what is age appropriate. And with that, I move to adopt items 1 and 2 as written.
Can I have a second?
Second, Farrell.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing none. Mr. Distratus, please call the vote.
Mrs. Bolton.
Yes.
Mrs. Farrow. Mr. Grossman.
Yes.
Mrs. Higby Iono.
Yes.
Mrs. Papalardo.
Yes.
Mrs. Pope.
Yes.
And Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, that's going to take us to our second public hearing. This is a second public comment. Please state your name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation if applicable, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Okay, seeing none, is there any old business? Any new business? Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Papalardo.
May I have a second?
Second, Grossman.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next Board of Education meeting is scheduled for November 19th at the Pitman High School Media Center.